Hey folks, Mike with Chasing Trail here. It's been a minute. I've still been riding quite a bit, any chance I get, but I haven't made a video in a while. That mostly just comes down to lack of time. When I've had any free time, I just wanted to get out and ride, and I just haven't had much time for doing videos. But here we are. It's a beautiful early summer day. I'd say spring, but it's already getting hot here, so it's going to be in the mid-90s today. May 11th, Saturday, and thought I'd do a little review on my 2024 Road Glide, which I don't think I'd announced yet. I did post a test ride video. I never followed up on that, so yeah, I ended up trading in my Lowrider ST for this bike. I love the Lowrider ST, I still do. Fantastic, fun motorcycle. But after I test rode this, I just wanted it. My biggest issue with the Lowrider ST is just the fit. I am 6'1", 235 pounds. Classic dad bod. I fit on the Lowrider ST, but just barely. And if I was only going out for a couple hours, it was fine. But on longer rides, the comfort started getting to me. Especially 3, 4 hour, 5 hour rides, or if I'm going out for most of the day, I just would get to the point where I was getting pretty uncomfortable. And after I test rode this, I'd ridden the previous Road Glides. In fact, before I got the Lowrider ST, I had wanted to get, the first Harley I wanted to get was the Road Glide ST. I just couldn't work out a deal I was happy with on one. So I ended up on the Street Glide because I found a deal on that bike. Enjoyed it. It was a Street Glide ST, but the Lowrider ST appealed because it was just, it feels much, it's only 100 pounds or something lighter, but especially after you replace the stock exhaust. That stock exhaust on that thing must weigh, I'm not kidding, 40 pounds. It's incredibly heavy. So with a few modifications, you can shave quite a bit of weight off that Lowrider ST. And it just feels really peppy with that 117 motor in it. It's a blast to ride, and the suspension on it is significantly better, especially than the Street Glide ST. Anyway, I love the Lowrider ST, but it just wasn't very comfortable for me on longer rides. I really like the changes that Harley made with this 24 model, in addition to lowering the price. So I'm coming up on 1,700 miles. I figured I'd do my, short-term owner review. Had the bike for several months now. I haven't had a chance to do any long trips on it yet. I would like to. So overall thoughts on this 2024 Road Glide are, I love it. It is the most comfortable motorcycle I've ever ridden. For me, the seating position, the bar angle, everything is just perfect for me. In many ways, it's a fairly impractical motorcycle for where I typically ride, which is roads like this. This is a, country back road. It's very bumpy. There's potholes everywhere. An adventure bike is much better suited to this kind of road. But I just love riding this motorcycle. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. I love the way it sounds, even with the stock exhaust. It would definitely sound better with some slip-ons. The suspension, I think, is very decent for stock suspension. I don't know if I'm going to change it. At this point, I'm probably not. When I first was riding the bike, I was definitely bottoming out on harder hits, but I had not adjusted the preload. After adjusting the preload for my weight, it is now much better, and I rarely bottom out unless I really hit something hard. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the stock suspension. I'm sure aftermarket would be much better. After upgrading the suspension on my Street Glide, I'm a little wary of messing with the suspension on this one. When I upgraded the Street Glide, it definitely made it feel sportier and more connected to the road, but I feel like it gave up comfort. It just wasn't as smooth and compliant, and this is very smooth and compliant, and I'm not out here trying to race this thing, so the main thing I want is comfort. So if there was a set of shocks or something that would improve that, I'd look into them. I probably wouldn't do anything to the front, but yeah, I'm probably just going to leave it stock, honestly, because I feel like it's pretty good. If I could ride somebody else's with some other suspension and it just blew my mind, then yeah, but I don't think I would spend the money and just hope that it's going to be better, because I feel like the stock's pretty decent already. 24 models, as you probably already know, have the 117 motor with the liquid cool heads. It feels great, pulls really nicely. There are 3 settings you can see down here in the corner, this lower left hand corner. There's a rain mode, a road mode, and a sport mode. The vast majority of the time I ride in road mode. I've never used the rain mode. And road mode is just pleasant and comfortable. On occasion, when the mood catches me right, I do throw her into sport mode. I'll probably do that in a little while here. But it is a dramatic difference between road and sport mode. I couldn't believe it the first time I rode it in sport mode. It makes it incredibly responsive. The difference between the 2 modes is the biggest I've ever experienced on a motorcycle. It feels much sportier in sport mode. The downside to that is it makes the throttle twitchy. The slightest input on the throttle and you feel it in sport mode. Some people will probably like that. I like it when I'm in the right mood to kind of ride more spiritedly. When I'm just out cruising, like right now, I prefer the standard mode. I don't feel any need to modify this motor. The bike has great power for what it is, stock. If the bike were out of warranty, I might be inclined to mess with it, just because I'm the kind of person who has a hard time leaving things alone. But while it's in warranty, I don't feel wanting for any more power. It feels great, bone stock, at least for the way I ride, which, you know, I'm not the fastest rider, so I do kind of go faster on straightaways and open areas and stuff, but motor's good, transmission's good. It's your typical Harley. I feel like it might be slightly smoother sometimes, but I don't know. It's still your pretty clunky agricultural Harley transmission. I don't have any issues with it. I like the way it feels. It's very deliberate. I love the screen. There's different ways you can configure it. There's different information you can see. I can see my tire pressures, compass, trip meters, MPG, ambient temperature, miles remaining. Stereo works great. I typically ride with my other helmet, which has Bluetooth, mesh, intercom, speakers, all that stuff, and I can use the stereo on here but play it through my helmet speakers, and I find that works much better than trying to use the speakers on the bike. When I'm just putting along like this, you can hear the music through the speakers, but once you're going like 60 miles an hour, even full volume, I can't hear the music. I mean, I can barely tell that it's playing, but I can't, you know, distinguish what I'm hearing. With my in-helmet speakers, they just sound so much better. It's, you know, perfectly clear, good, crisp audio. I don't think any... I wear a full face helmet, so if you wear a half shell or something, you'd probably be different. You could probably actually hear it, but for me, the helmet speakers are just going to sound so much better. Even an aftermarket system, it would have to be so incredibly loud for me to be able to hear it, and expensive. It's just not worth it. I think for me, I like the helmet speakers, and I don't have to annoy anyone around me who maybe doesn't want to listen to my music. So that's my preference. Stock speakers, yeah, I mean, they work, but they're not great. Fuel economy, so if we go here, my Trip B, I've never reset. So average in 1,700 miles, 47 miles a gallon. Pretty good for a huge heavy bike. I'm happy with that. Oh, the handlebars on this model for me are absolutely perfect, stock. Have no desire to change them or do anything with them. For me, they're in the perfect position. I hated the bars on the previous generation. It felt like a wheelbarrow. They're kind of down here like a beach cruiser bicycle or something. These are perfect. They're in the perfect position for me. Good wrist angle. I don't get any numbness in my hands or anything. They feel great. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to get this bike, is because completely bone stock, there's really very little I felt like I needed to do. So only mods I've done were this Clockworks windscreen. It provides a little bit more wind protection and mostly just made it quieter. I didn't mind the stock windscreen. I actually liked the cockpit view better, just having the open cockpit, but with my helmets it was very noisy, so this Clockworks definitely cut down on the wind noise quite a lot. And I added the Harley Streamliner highway pegs. So let's do this. I'll put it in sport mode. You just press the mode button and then you close the throttle and it will activate the mode. But see, instantly, as soon as I put it in there, it's like, whoa, the throttle response is instant right now. It really is a dramatic difference. And so when you want to do that more spirited riding, it delivers. I mean, it's crazy what I've said this many times already, but it's crazy how much more responsive the throttle becomes in sport mode. Stock seat I find pretty comfortable. I don't find any need to upgrade that in the near future. If I do, I'll probably go get a Russell Daylong made. They are the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in. My dad gets them on all his bikes, and they are local to me, so I can just ride over there, get measured, and have them make me a seat and pick it up the next day. And it will be a seat custom built for me. I don't think they're the prettiest. They don't look as good as like a Saddleman or a Lepera or some of these Mustang or some of the other options, but I think it would definitely be the most comfortable, and I care about that. The comfort is more important to me at this point than the aesthetics. Ideally it would have both, but I'll prioritize comfort. Exhaust, it's pretty quiet. Before I put this Clockworks windshield on, I couldn't hear it at all. I'd have to actually look at the RPM gauge, and I've never been one to look at an RPM gauge. I've always shifted by sound and feel, and I couldn't hear the exhaust. I did punch out the cones and the baffles with a concrete spike. That helped a little bit, but it's still pretty quiet. I can actually hear it now with this windshield. When you get on it, you're not going to be able to hear it through the camera, no way. So I'd probably do some slip-ons at some point. I like something that sounds good with a nice deep rumble, but isn't obnoxious. I don't want to be the obnoxious guy. The SPC I had on my lowrider looked beautiful, sounded great, was super lightweight, but it was just a little bit louder than I would have liked. With this, I'd probably do Reinhardt DBX 45s or the Chromeworks 45s. The Chromeworks are a little bit cheaper and they have them in stock at my dealer. I had the Reinhardts on my Street Glide and I loved them. I thought that was just, for me, the perfect sound. So if I do get pipes, I'll probably do the Reinhardts again. Maybe the Chromeworks. I don't know. Other than that, there's nothing else I want to do to this bike. It's great the way it is. Windshield for your liking. Possibly a seat, though like I said, I think the stock seat's not bad. I think the stock suspension's good. Ergonomics fit me great. And the slip-on of your choice. Or if you're not in California and you have more freedom and what you can do to your bike while maintaining your warranty, have at it. I envy you. So there you have it. That's my 1,700 mile review of the 2024 Road Glide. If you stuck around, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll also put some links to two other guys I have found who have the same exact bike, actually, same color and everything, 2024 Road Glides, who are doing some really good content on it. So I'll leave links to their channels. I can't remember their YouTube names off the top of my head. One guy's up in Washington and the other gentleman is on the East Coast somewhere. Anyway, they're both doing great content and they'll probably be doing more mods and upgrades and stuff than I'm going to be doing. So yeah, links for those guys in the description, and thanks for watching.